Okay, boys. So it's day 36, and today I made a whole page of what my team could be using to improve their own wrestling stuff, and just got me thinking. It got me thinking on this, and this is the topic of today's video is like what it takes to be the best. Like I'm starting to go back to my old habits of what I used to be when I was back in wrestling. So like in my high school wrestling season, I got first place, gold medal, right? And it just got me thinking, first place, the gold medal, right? Standing on top of the podium, what does that mean? That means you are the best high school wrestler in that weight class in your whole entire area. That's basically what it means. It means you're the exception, right? And to be the exception, or to be exceptional, you are the exception, right? To be the best, you can't be like the rest, because you're at the top, okay? So it really got me thinking, like, bro, in order for you to stand at the top, in order for you to be the best, you gotta make sacrifices. You gotta sacrifice the most, right? And it got me thinking back to when I was in wrestling, and the way I got to first place was just because I knew I sacrificed more than my opponents. I was always there early in practice, just working my moves with the other wrestlers. I was there late after practice, asking the coach to show me the moves and see if I'm doing it correctly. Always asking for feedback and that stuff. I was always like, my content that I consumed was only just wrestling, college wrestling. I was watch college wrestling matches. I would watch the freestyle wrestling matches in the neutral position. I would watch and I put it on like 0.5 speed, just reverse it, pause, rewind, play it again, 0.5 speed. Like I'd have a whole entire notebook on the strategy and what to do, what I'm doing. You know, I would avoid freaking eating carbs. Carbs, well, that's also because of cutting weight. But like, you know what I mean? It's like I sacrificed a lot, and before I knew it, I was standing on the top of the podium, and it was not even like a wow, that was unexpected. It's like I expected as much, because there was no way there was another kid on this island that was working as hard as me. No way. Like I know for a fact I put 10 times more effort. I sacrificed like my social circle. So there would be like things going on, and my friends would tell me stories about the things that was going on in my friend group, but I didn't know shit about it because my mind was only focused on wrestling. When I'd be hanging out with my friends, honestly, I'd just be like visualizing my wrestling matches. I'd be like asking them, "Hey, yo, let's do this." So they're in the freaking hallway trying to hand fight each other. That's how serious I took it. Like everything a lot. I quit playing video games my wrestling season so I can get more sleep in, so I can rest up and recover better. That's how crazy it is. So like if you there's a little side tangent. If you want to like quit an addiction, have a goal so big that you want it bad enough. Because at the end of the day, it comes down to, do you want it bad enough, right? Because if you wanted it bad enough, you would get it. You would go through hell and high water to get it. Like I wanted to be the number one high school wrestler on island. I wanted it bad, right? I wanted it so bad that, like my video game addiction that I was addicted to, Fortnite, I had a whole Fortnite channel. I quit it for the whole wrestling season instantaneously because I wanted to be a number one more than I wanted to play those video games. So it really only comes down to how bad do you want it? Because if you will sacrifice, you will make the sacrifices needed if you really wanted it. Okay, so when people ask me, I want to be the best. I want to be number one. I want to do this. Like, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? Because if you wanted it bad, you wouldn't be eating that pizza before practice, right? You wouldn't be like yesterday before their matches. Before their matches, after they weighed in, they started eating pizza, and and freaking hot wings with mustard sauce and shit like that. And I told them, dude, if you eat that before your match, you're not gonna be performing at your best. And I told them that straight up, right? When like they roll out the mats and shit like that, and they mopped it and everything. There was only one person. Nobody was on the mat, so I had to call. Hey, somebody want to wrestle me, and then we bring them on the mat. Nobody else, not even from the other schools, were on the mat trying to work in one of the moves before the game even starts. Like, you can't do that. You can't do that, but everybody's just sitting on the bench. They don't want it bad enough. You do not want it bad enough. If you wanted it bad enough, you would have as much time putting in the reps on the skill that you wanted to improve. Right? But if you go at it from this way, the competition erases itself automatically. Like, nobody will be willing to make the sacrifices needed if you just put it this way. This is kind of what I wanted to tell my wrestlers is, like, if you really do if you want to stand on the top of the podium, if you want to be, get that gold medal at the end of the season, you have to make the sacrifices needed. You cannot be eating the pizza, the chicken wings before a match. You cannot be like sleeping late. You cannot be missing weights. You cannot be like just talking your ass off. You have to actually be putting in the work even outside the mat, outside of the time allotted to pursue that goal. And it doesn't just go for wrestling, right? I'm just talking about it wrestling because it's what I'm currently working on. But like, it goes through with every area of life. Whatever goal you set your life on, or you set your mission on, like to pursue a certain your goals, you have to make sacrifices towards that goal. Like I can tell, this is another point I wanted to talk about, is like, you could tell who's the winners from the losers. And it's not some like aura thing where like, I'll just look at him. Oh yeah, he's rating. No, you could tell just by their actions, right? Because actions create habits, and habits are just repetitive actions, right? And those habits create the identity of yourself, right? So if you want the identity of somebody that's number one, you do the actions, you do the repetitive actions to become that person, right? So I can tell, like, we're going back to the wrestling example because this is where my mind was at. You could tell who is going to stand at the top of the podium just by their actions, right? You could tell who wants it bad enough because of what they do, right? Are they eating the pizza, or are they eating the banana, or are they just fasted even after weigh-ins, right? Are they going to be on the mat wrestling before the coaches even before like the matches even start, so they can work in their moves? Are they asking coach, what can I fix here? What can I do here? Are they writing down their own what the moves they're gonna hit? Do they know actually? Because some people go on the mat and they don't even know what the fuck they're gonna do. Like, they're just hand fighting for 2 minutes straight and just dancing back and forth because they don't have an actual like direction of what they want to do. You have to put in the effort, right? You have to put in the effort. It's going to take hard work. It's going to take work. You're going to have to sacrifice today's Thanksgiving, and like we have a wrestling meet Saturday. So if these guys were cutting weight, they should not have eaten that much today, right? Even though it's Thanksgiving, if they stuff their fucking face, right, they're gonna have to lose a lot of weight by Saturday, which is not good, right? So if they wanted it bad enough, they wouldn't have been like overeating and eating all this fucking junk food today. Like, if we come back and we see, oh yeah guys, I ate ice cream, I ate pizza because it was Thanksgiving, you feel me? So we just giving each other some freaking sugary food. Like, no. See, you don't want it bad enough. Who the fuck cares if it's hot, if it's a Thanksgiving? If anything, be the exception, right? In order to be exceptional, you have to be the exception. You have to be the one that stands out, because by definition, the one that stands out is different, right? If you're number one, you stand out because you are the best. You are different from the people who are not at the top, okay? Like, there can only be like one person standing at the top. There can't be two, right? There can only be one number one. Just like that. I'm trying to get it like in your head, like the differentiation from people from the competition. There can only be one person at the top, and 99% of people are at the bottom. You know what I mean? Like all the rest, they lost in some way, shape, or form. So in order to be at the top, you have to do the things that other people are not willing to do. You have to make the sacrifices. So this is the main thing I wanted to go about today. Is like, as a man, like, to garner success in a certain area, whether that be wrestling or like work, or in whatever endeavor you choose, it's about putting in the work relentlessly and making the sacrifices accordingly. Like, Mike Tyson wouldn't be one of the greatest heavyweight boxers in the world if he didn't dedicate his life to boxing. Like, if in his prime, right? We're talking about in his prime. Don't fuck that Jake Paul fight, right? But like, in his prime, he only had boxing, right? He had no family. His only family was like Cus D'Amato, and Cus D'Amato was his own boxing coach, right? And so it was only boxing on his mind, and his body was built for boxing. His mind was focused on boxing. That is the only thing. You have to like dial in. When they say lock in, it means really lock in on one thing. You can't chase two rabbits, because if you chase two rabbits, you get none. You focus on one thing and you make sacrifices accordingly. Okay? If you're not willing to make the sacrifices, you will just be mediocre. Okay? There's always a consequence to the choices that you make. And so you have to be willing to accept the consequences. Be willing to accept the sacrifices of not eating with your friends out, not being not going to those parties, not eating that nice junk food, not playing video games late at night with your friends, not going to those family reunions because it's going to mess up your sleep schedule, or they're going to tempt you to start eating bad food. It means actually taking a freaking pen. This pen just broke. Taking a pen out and actually writing down what the hell you're gonna do, what improvements you can make, rewatching your videos 10 times, 100 times, so you can actually see exactly what you are fucking up on, right? Going to the well, again, I'm just going back to wrestling, but like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what you have to do, right? But there's things holding you back, like your emotions and shit like that. So yeah, that's the video today. It's just make the sacrifices needed. You have to make the sacrifices needed. Okay, so I wanted to say this to my wrestling team. It's 13 minutes though, so probably have to find a way to dial it in shorter. But yeah, man, you gotta make sacrifices. You can't be like everybody else if you want to be the best. If not, if you don't want to be standing, if you don't want to be number one, by all means, be mediocre. Be like everybody else. But like, we already know, the internal desire within us is pushing us not to be average. Like, God wants you to be great. God created you in his image, and his image is fucking goated. Right? So that's it for the video today. Hope you guys drive some inspiration and get to fucking work. Think about what exactly you can sacrifice for your goals, and do it, because if you don't, you're a fucking loser. You're gonna fucking lose, right? There's somebody out there who's sacrificing more than you. There's somebody out there putting in more work than you. There's somebody out there who was tired, who was feeling bad about it, but he still did the fucking work anyway. There is some kid out there who is not talented, who does not have the best genetics, but he's working 10 times harder than you. And that's the person that was gonna be number one. So, be that fucking kid and do the fucking work. I see you later. Deuces.